Joining me right now is former Connecticut Independent Senator, former Democratic Vice Presidential Candidate, and Chairman of United Against Nuclear Iran, Senior Counsel at Kasowitz Benson Torres. Joe Lieberman is with us. Senator, it's good to see you.
You too, Maria.
Thank you so much for joining us. We have a lot to talk about. You served on the Homeland Security Committee during your time in Congress. Right. I want to ask you first your reaction to the immigration fight that's happening right now.
Well, it's happening in a lot of different ways. Look, generally speaking, I'm pro-immigration because immigrants have really made our country.
Right.
And in fact, with the economy the way it is now, we need more immigrants to do some of the jobs that are not being done. But
you want it to be legal.
Yeah, there have to be rules. That's the point. Right. So we got to distinguish between legal and illegal immigrants. And I think anybody who favors immigration, as I do, should want the rules to be enforced as best we possibly can. There is a really interesting effort going on in the House now to try to discharge a bill on DACA, the Dreamers, and it's bipartisan. It's getting closer and closer to having enough signatures on it to bring that bill to the floor. That would be a breakthrough, and I favor it. These are the kids who were brought here by their parents. They have to pass tests. They got to prove they haven't gotten in trouble in the country, that they're living according to the law, et cetera.
Most people agree with you that we want immigration, but we want it to be legal. I mean, last night, look at this 18-wheeler tractor trailer that was stopped last night. Just last night, there was 1,000 illegals in it.
Yeah. So that you can't have.
I'm sorry, 100 illegals in the truck.
Right, and that you cannot have because there have to be rules. We're not going to have open gates here, but bottom line, immigrants contribute to the economy in the country, and they come, generally speaking, if you can weed out the ones that are looking for trouble, and it's the minority, they come wanting a better life, and in pursuit of the better life, they help the rest of us live better.
And actually, we need more people for the jobs. You made that point earlier about the economy.
Right. This is a time for legal immigration.
Right. Legal immigration.
Yeah.
Let me switch gears to North Korea.
Okay.
The Hermit Kingdom now preparing to implode this nuclear test site in the next day or two, we understand, in a move toward denuclearization ahead of this historic summit between the president and Kim Jong-un. The president, though, is now having doubts about this. Earlier, he basically said, look, the meeting may not happen on June 12th. Listen to this.
Okay.
I don't want to waste a lot of time, and I'm sure he doesn't want to waste a lot of time. So there's a very substantial chance that it won't work out, and that's okay. That doesn't mean it won't work out over a period of time, but it may not work out for June 12th.
Your thoughts, Senator, on North Korea?
Well, I think this is the art of the deal president. In other words, I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but it looks like something is bubbling. And I think this kind of comment by the president is saying, I want to make it pretty clear to Kim Jong-un, I don't want a deal more than he wants a deal. In other words, if we get to go to Singapore and we negotiate something, good. But we both have to want it. And I think in the past, certainly with P5+1 Obama administration with Iran, it certainly came to look like we wanted a deal more than the Iranians wanted it, and it's part of why that ended up a bad deal. So look, it would be a break for the Kim family. This Kim is the third generation. If they really were willing to come to the table and denuclearize in return for access to the world economy that they've never had before. But it feels like maybe there's just a little hope that this young leader will surprise us. And
we thought so. We thought so. And, you know, China helped get him to the table. They really did. But now with this deal or no deal, whatever you want to call it, framework between the U.S. and China, lawmakers in the U.S. are pushing back on China, basically saying, look, we are on the other side of this. We are voicing our disapproval of President Trump's potentially easing sanctions on the Chinese smartphone maker ZTE. The president said there's no deal on that just yet. Here's what he just said yesterday.
There is no deal. We will see what happens. We are discussing deals. When you're losing $500 billion a year, you can't lose in terms of a negotiation. It's really easy to win. But I want this to be a great deal for the United States, and I want it to be a very good deal for China, too, if that's possible.
Well, I sort of feel like I'm glad he was honest. There's no deal, because I didn't think there was a deal earlier this week, and I've been basically raising the red flag saying, just because China is buying $200 billion of more stuff, that does nothing for the more important issues, which is the theft of intellectual property and the forced transfer of technology from American companies to Chinese companies. Your thoughts on the China-U.S. relationship?
Well, I agree with you. Look, this is a relationship that is rising as the most important for us. The Chinese are not threatening to us in the same way that the Iranians are. They're a radical Islamist extremist regime, support terrorism. But the Chinese play a tough game, and part of it, and we know this for years, they've been stealing our intellectual property. They've been...
they won't admit it. They won't even admit it.
But I can tell you from when I was in the Senate and I was seeing all the classified stuff, they were doing it. And I think it's time to blow the whistle on that. We have the opportunity. We depend on each other, the Chinese and us, for economic growth in a lot of ways.
Exactly.
But they're taking advantage of us now, and I think one of the ways in which they are is on the theft of intellectual property. Yeah. So the role of Congress here with regard to ZTE is really important. Congress is standing up,
they're
bipartisan.
Saying, wait, Mr. President, not
saying,
so fast.
Yeah, don't just, this is not just another piece on the table to negotiate.
Right.
This is really our security.
And it seems appropriate. That's more important for American business. I want to ask you about Iran.
Okay.
And, of course, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo threatened the country with massive sanctions if Tehran does not abandon the nuclear fuel production program and halt its aggressive actions across the Middle East. Your thoughts on where we stand on that now?
Well, I'm speaking now as chairman of the group Bipartisan United Against Nuclear Iran. I could not be more supportive of the Trump administration policy here. The original Iran nuclear deal was a bad deal. We gave a lot away. We got very little in return, and we did nothing about the non-nuclear aggression and support of terrorism of the Iranian government. So I think now President broke out of the agreement. It's time to start again. I thought Secretary Pompeo's speech the other day was right on target. Let's sit down with the Iranians, negotiate, stop the aggression in the Middle East, stop the support of terrorism, and of course stop your nuclear program. Let us inspect comprehensively, which the original agreement didn't do. What's in it for them? Tremendous opportunity to raise the standard of living of their people who are suffering now because of the government.
Think they'll do it? Will they sit down?
I think, here's what I think. This is a radical ideological, theological regime. They will only do it if they think the survival of the regime is on the line. And there's a lot of protest restiveness in the country, so I think we have a chance at it. We tried the other way before and it didn't work. Now we're trying to play it tough, and it can work.